This has 100% of potential to be a deadly surprise.
A fatal car crash in Colorado.
They're saying that they was on some kind of auto drive when it went into the street.
Now part of a federal investigation into the safety of electric vehicles.
Black Tesla Model 3, expiring 8 of 22.
Oh, that's why it caught fire.
Denver7 Investigates confirming the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has collected data from a May Tesla crash.
Driver here didn't survive. Any idea why he couldn't get out?
We're starting to realize that this is becoming a real problem.
Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski is uncovering critical new details in the investigation.
And an expert shows us life-saving steps to avoid getting trapped in an electric vehicle after a crash.
It just ran straight off the road at a 70 mile an hour.
It was more than just another car crash.
And collided into a tree at Brock area.
On a quiet, curvy Colorado mountain road.
Vehicle is still fully engulfed.
Emergency crews trying to extinguish a fire and also trying to save the driver inside.
The driver has a spouse and a 1-year-old.
You're listening to Colorado State Troopers and watching video from dash cameras. Drone video shows the car's path off the road in Evergreen.
Non-automatic? Yeah, he was saying that they was on some kind of auto drive when it went into the street.
Now, 6 months later, investigators are still trying to answer why it happened, including questions about the auto drive or autopilot function.
Said that they had it in auto drive mode?
And questions about the role the Tesla's lithium batteries may have played.
The Teslas are nasty for those batteries.
And why the car's passenger was able to get out alive, but the driver was not.
Go ahead and make contact with the coroner.
33-year-old Hans von Ohain died in his vehicle. Do you know, as you sit there now, why the driver wasn't able to get out?
I do not.
Since that crash back in May, the Colorado State Patrol has tried to answer the unanswered questions.
The passenger door was able to be opened. Why did the driver not open his door? Was the electronics for the door not able to open? Was the latching system on a Tesla so advanced that the driver, after being in a crash, was he dazed enough? He forgot how to open the door. Those are all questions that we may not have answers to.
Driver here didn't survive. Any idea why he couldn't get out? Paul Shoemaker is a Castle Rock firefighter, a paramedic, and he owns a company training emergency workers on how to save lives in car crashes.
The thought I have behind this is that he was awake and alert, but was unable to open the door. The person in the car was able to get out on the passenger side, but it was too late for the driver to try to get out.
Shoemaker has also studied growing concerns worldwide regarding post-crash fires of electric vehicles and other examples of drivers and passengers not able to get out. So the driver of this car didn't know how to get out when the electrical stopped.
Not at all.
One graphic example came from an electric vehicle that caught fire in Canada.
His reaction was to kick the window out. That's how he got out of that car. He never opened that car door.
If he didn't kick the window out, what would have happened?
Reality is he probably wouldn't survive.
So what do we have here? And that's why we asked this expert in extrication to show us. This is about saving lives.
Correct.
To show us how you manually get out of an electric vehicle when the electric system fails. You're an expert. What percentage of the people you think know how to get out of a car in this situation?
I would say less than 1%.
Show me what we need to know.
Every vehicle is completely different. If I was to lose power in this car door like I have lost right now, absolutely no power in this door, I can pull this as hard as I want and this car door will not open. There is a mechanical override which is down here in the carpet, and if you look right here where we've skinned the vehicle, you can see what it looks like.
And in some cars there's a significant difference between the back seat and the front seat.
For this vehicle, in order for me to get it into a mechanical override, I have to pull it all the way out, and now the car door will open.
Getting out alive leads us back to getting answers.
I said that they had it in auto drive mode?
And the ongoing investigations, including questions surrounding the car's autopilot function. Earlier this year, published reports announced the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration was expanding its investigation into autopilot on several Tesla models, including the 2021 Model 3 involved in the Evergreen crash.
They have all the information from this crash, and they are looking at this at their level.
Do you know if this vehicle was being driven by the driver or autopilot?
I do not know.
One of the questions you're hoping to answer?
Yes.
So now, 6 months after this crash in Evergreen, investigators continue trying to piece together the puzzle of exactly what happened and why it happened.
This report is extremely complex. That is what we owe to the family and to friends and to the public, to give them the answers. Why did this occur? Maybe a question that we can never answer.
The Colorado State Patrol adds that it is also investigating the role alcohol may have played in this fatal crash. CSP has targeted the end of December to complete its report. We also reached out to NHTSA and Tesla, asking for their insight into this report. NHTSA says it does not comment on ongoing investigations. Tesla has not responded to multiple requests. And finally, if you drive an electric vehicle, our expert urges you to check your manual and make sure you know how to get out if the electric system fails. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski.
And now let's dig deeper into accidents involving autopilot technology. The NHTSA reports 439 Tesla vehicles have been involved in accidents with the feature engaged since July of 2021, and the agency has also opened at least 35 cases involving Tesla's autopilot. Crashes involving Tesla's autopilot technology are higher than any other manufacturer in North America. Of course, we want to clarify here that could be due to the fact that Tesla sells more self-driving vehicles than any other company in North America.
And some important context here. Despite reports of accidents involving Tesla's autopilot feature, data shows the software is actually making driving safer. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 94% of vehicle accidents in the U.S. are due to human error. Additionally, Tesla's latest safety report, which discloses crashes involving autopilot technology, showed that only one crash occurred for every 1.5 million miles when the feature was inactive. But when autopilot was used, only one car accident happened for every 4.3 million miles.
And ultimately, Tesla's self-driving technology isn't perfect. The company tells its drivers they must monitor changes on the road as they happen, and drivers are liable under the law during crashes, even if Tesla's autopilot was being used. Tesla's vehicles are currently a level 2 autonomous technology. That's according to the Society of Automotive Engineers, and that means automation falls short of full self-driving because a driver can take control at any time. And the SAE says many technological leaps are still needed before reaching level 5, which denotes full automation.
New at 10, Aurora police have a person of interest in custody in connection with a shooting that left a 12-year-old boy dead and a 14-year-old boy hospitalized. Police say the boys were walking along 10th and Zion when shots were fired from a silver Acura. Authorities are urging anybody with information to reach out to Metro Denver Crime Stoppers.
And heading into the weekend, the Lauren Boebert-Adam Frisch race in the 3rd Congressional District still too close to call tonight. At this hour, Boebert leads by 1,100 votes.
And we're starting to crunch the numbers to find out who's behind Colorado's midterm results. And you might be surprised what groups showed up and what groups didn't.
Our Jacqueline Allen is digging into this. And Jacqueline, in Colorado, younger voters are getting a lot of attention nationally.
Well, that's right, which is why it's so interesting that younger voters in Colorado really didn't turn out this year as much as they did in the last midterms in 2018. And given those national trends you were talking about, it's also interesting women voted in lower numbers here overall. On the flip side, this election showed there are two groups of voters who are going to shape Colorado politics now. So first, let's talk about unaffiliated voters. Voter registration data shows, listen to this, there are 37% more unaffiliated voters in Colorado this year than in 2018. In fact, more than 40% of ballots returned were from unaffiliated voters. Now, political experts tell us while it's clear those voters do not want to be connected to a party right now, they are voting with Democrats. All right, second, Latino voters played a significant role in key races. An exit poll by the nonpartisan Colorado Latino Agenda found this demographic voted 2-to-1 in favor of Democratic candidates. Take Congressional District 8. This was Kirkmeyer. She was favored to win, but Caraveo pulled a major upset.
I think the story of Congressional District 8 in this election really is that the Latino vote is probably the pivotal vote.
I think it just further confirms how much more Democratic leaning Latino voters are in Colorado.
And while young voters are getting a lot of national headlines, we looked, and the largest voting blocks in Colorado involved women ages 55 to 74. The takeaway here in Colorado, these are the voters who cannot be taken for granted and the voters who are changing Colorado politics. Shannon?
Fascinating. All right, Jacqueline Allen tonight. Thanks, Jacqueline. Proposition 122 has passed, so magic mushrooms will soon be legal in Colorado. Now, proponents say they were thrilled that approval came on Veterans Day, since psychedelics are showing such promise in treating PTSD in military veterans. So, here's how it's going to work. Starting in 2024, those 21 and older will be allowed to possess and use psychedelics, including psilocybin mushrooms. Prop 122 also sets up a system for state-regulated healing centers where people can consume psilocybin under trained supervision. And this afternoon, I met with Kevin Matthews. He's director of Natural Medicine Colorado, which got Prop 122 on the ballot. Now, he says the clinical studies have shown psychedelics are really effective at treating several mental illnesses, including depression. And Matthews walked me through this healing center process. So first, the person meets with an advisor to talk through the reasons they want the treatment. Then they are given psychedelics under supervision, and then afterward, meet with a facilitator.
When a person sits down with their facilitator after they've had this session, what are the insights they learned? How has this improved their life? And what's the roadmap to stay on that path?
Prop 122 does not legalize a sale or recreational use of psychedelics, and Matthew says these first healing centers should be open sometime in 2025.
Single digits in teens expected tonight. By next week, even colder weather.
Returning home to a silent battle.
My body reacts to adrenaline like, oh, something's happening. This is like time to be on guard.
One Colorado veteran sits down with Denver7 to speak on the struggles of life after combat.
This is to hopefully bring awareness and tell everyone else, like, hey, this is still a problem.